Two dead after shooting in Hunting Park section of Philadelphia, four others injured. The victims are among the more than 2 dozen people who have been shot this Labor Day weekend in the city. This was written by Corey Davis for 6abc.com, published on Tuesday, September 6th, 2022. Philadelphia. A man and a woman are dead after gunfire erupted early Monday morning in the Hunting Park section of Philadelphia. Four other male victims, including a teenager, were wounded. The victims are among the more than 30 people who have been shot this Labor Day weekend in the city. The gunfire erupted just before 1 a.m. in the 700 block of West Russell Street. There were a large number of spent shell casings, which indicate a number of shots were fired. Police are still working to figure out who opened fire and why. No arrests have been made and no suspects have been identified. My heart is heavy right now. My chest hurts, said Sister Talia Taylor, the president of City of Dreams Coalition, a nonprofit fighting violence in the city. It's nothing new. It's all over the nation. When are people going to wake up? One of six people shot in the incident, a 33-year-old woman, was pronounced dead at the scene. She suffered gunshot wounds to the head and shoulder. A 19-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds to the body was pronounced dead at the hospital shortly after 5:30 a.m. The names of the victims who were killed have not been released pending family notification, police said. Of those who were wounded, two of them, a 23-year-old male and a 55-year-old male, are in critical condition with multiple gunshot wounds. The other two, a 17-year-old male and a 31-year-old male, are in stable condition. Officers established a second scene outside Temple University Hospital and placed crime scene tape around an SUV that had bullet holes in the side. In a tweet, Mayor Jim Kenney called the violence devastating and unacceptable. The amount of violent incidents over this holiday weekend is devastating and unacceptable. Philadelphians deserve to be safe in their communities. My deepest sympathies go out to all of those affected by this senseless violence, especially families that have lost loved ones. In another shooting at 46th Street and Lancaster Avenue, a 19-year-old was killed near a drive-thru in West Philadelphia on Sunday afternoon. It's normal, said Kia, a West Philadelphia resident who did not want to give her name. She spoke to Action News just feet from the scene of that shooting. She was out walking with her son and said the violence has been increasing. It's getting worse and worse, she said. People like me, we just trying to stay indoors. Hard work, see if we can get out of here. I think that's a typo. Since Saturday evening, 10 people have died in 22 different shootings across the city. In Philadelphia alone, it's a war zone. All across the city, young people, old people, men, women, children are dying. This is not the first mass shooting I've covered in Philadelphia, and over the holiday weekend, as we see in almost every holiday, as I've been covering mass shootings across the nation, every time we have a major holiday like 4th of July, this time Labor Day, Memorial Day, every weekend where we have extended time as Americans, where we're supposed to have fun or spend it with our families or just do nothing, we end up killing each other. We allow guns to continue to permeate so Americans can settle their petty, stupid disputes with violence. Some people will say this is a bad neighborhood, or these people were criminals or gangsters or things like that. It does not matter if somebody lives in a bad neighborhood. It should not matter if somebody lives in a rich neighborhood that they're free from gun violence. Because as I've been covering mass shootings happen in all places. Literally all across the country. At any place you can imagine, there has been a mass shooting where I've covered it. Fairs, hospitals, schools, churches, house parties, bars, restaurants, in the home, everywhere. It does not matter because this is a issue that is affecting all Americans. And we don't need to look at each other and say, well, this is a problem only for black people or white people or poor people. This is an issue for all Americans, which we are facing. Philadelphia is ironically the place where the Constitution was drafted and signed. Philadelphia is the place that has a lot of historic purpose for Americans because it is one of the foundational cities of the 13 original colonies. Going back in time, if you could go back in time and meet with the founding fathers and tell them about what will happen in the future, about Sandy Hook, about Uvalde, about Buffalo, about any of the mass shootings, Columbine, do you think that they would still put in the Second Amendment? I think not. I think not. I think when they intended to create the Second Amendment, which said we shall keep a well-regulated militia and the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. They were talking about keeping a state police force or a national police force or something like that. I don't think that their intention was ever to say that Americans have the right to bear arms. Even if it was, it's outlived its purpose. How many more children have to die in schools? How many more of our old people have to die in churches? How many more people have to get shot up at house parties, regular parties, restaurants, bars, etc., before we as Americans say enough is enough? Let's try to be like Germany, Canada, France, Italy, Spain, the UK, all the countries that are free from mass shootings. My name is Simon Hill. Thank you for watching.